I'm Matt McClure.
And I'm Francesca Maxime, and this is Currents. What's the dealio in Williamsburg? It's the Giglio.
Look out, Rachel Ray. Here comes Lino Rulli.
I mean, it's not like I always have a match with me.
And he's waited 40 years for this.
And here it was. I just couldn't believe it was here.
Good Monday evening. Well, they've been doing it in Williamsburg since 1903. And if you're driving by that neighborhood at this time of year, you can't miss the Feast of the Giglio. What began in the Italian village of Nola, actually generations ago, now spills into the streets of Brooklyn every summer to celebrate the feast in honor of St. Paulinus.
That's right, and celebrate they do in a big way with one of the most spectacular displays of physical strength and of faith imaginable. Dozens of men hoisting a 4-ton tower on their shoulders, and you have to see it to believe it. And you're about to see it as we take you to the Feast of the Giglio. Here's a question for you. How do you move a 4-ton structure like this, or this, from here to here? Well, if you're in the parish of Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Brooklyn, you might ask some of these guys to lend a hand.
This is really a part of this end of Brooklyn.
This feast here in Brooklyn has its roots in southern Italy, in Nola. It goes back really to the 5th century. In this neighborhood, it's been around for well over 100 years. This is 122nd annual.
The story goes like this. Bishop Paulinus of Nola, Italy, offered himself as a ransom for a boy who was stolen from his widowed mother by the Moors. A Turkish sultan, discovering what had happened, intervened and freed St. Paulinus from captivity. Then he returned the bishop to his homeland.
What's reenacted here is the return of St. Paulinus to Nola. So there's a boat and there's a Turk on top of the boat. And then the Giglio, which means lily, represents the lilies that the people carried when they went to the shore to meet St. Paulinus on his return.
Here in Brooklyn, we've been doing the feast since 1887. We've had our own Giglio since 1903.
Quite a tradition, wouldn't you agree? And everyone here wants to get in on the act.
Today I was betraying the Turkish Sultan, and I happened to be picked this year. You only get picked once in your life, and it was just a lot of fun and a great time.
This is one of the largest crowds we've had in a long time. A lot of the people here get excited about it because it's such a unique experience.
The reason it's called the dancing of the Giglio rather than just the carrying, because the Capo, he picks. He may want to spin the Giglio around, he may want to bounce it up and down, he may want to move it sideways, and this tremendous structure is literally dancing down the street towards you.
Okay, so now we know how it happens. Here's the bigger question. Why would anyone volunteer to lift something that weighs almost as much as a Mack truck?
You're talking about 140 men lifting 4 tons. It is a very difficult job.
Very tough work. Yes, it is.
Usually you feel it the next day, you'll feel it.
Yeah.
Right now you don't feel nothing.
If you have a background in construction, it's not excruciating or anything like that.
It's no work at all because we love what we're doing. So it's a pleasure to be out there.
It's just an honor for everybody. That every man that was there today was there because they wanted to be, not because they had to be.
For Italians, faith, culture, they all go together. And so this is really an expression of their faith by standing under that Giglio and carrying it, the tremendous weight.
Most of the men who come here to lift have a lot of different motives for lifting. They're not just doing it for exercise. They're not just doing it because it's a cultural thing to do. A lot of them are doing it because it's been part of their family tradition, their family faith tradition for many, many years. So a lot of them had special intentions for which they were lifting.
Thinking about my father today. I lifted Giglio in the boat in honor and memory of my grandfather and my sister.
Right now, my dedication is with my mom, who's in a Florida hospital dying right now. And I wanted to know that I love her. And may Our Lady and San Paolino guide her into heaven.
Most of the adults who lifted Giglio lifted a children's Giglio when they were kids.
Oh, I've been doing it since I've been 6 years old.
I've been part of the feast since I was born. Something that's in my blood. I've been lifting for 9 years now.
My father was very big with the feast too. My grandfather from Nola.
But the main thing is they all do it for God.
And Monsignor Calise believes that the feast can reach out to the community in an even more profound way.
This is a really good opportunity for us as a parish to let people know how welcome they are here at Our Lady of Mount Carmel and in the church in Brooklyn and Queens. This is just a really great opportunity for all of us here in the parish to preach the gospel by making the visitors that are here feel welcome.
And who could possibly refuse a welcome like this? Well, the Feast of the Giglio there, which runs through Sunday, July 19th. And stay tuned, because coming up later on, we're going to meet the Capo of this year's feast, and someone who really has a great story to tell.
The Capo, that's like the head of it, right?
That's right.
All right, sounds good. Well, stay tuned. The day's headlines are just ahead. And
what does Lino make for dinner? Reservations. Welcome back to Currents. I'm Matt McClure.
And I'm Francesca Maxime. Coming up later, he's the toast of the town this weekend in Williamsburg. But first, let's take a look at today's headlines. It's all Greek to me. That's what you may say when you see a very old Bible that's available online, as we now hear from Rome Reports.
The Codex Sinaiticus is the oldest copy of the Bible that exists today. It's written in Greek and dates to the year 400 AD. And it's a treasure that is now available online almost in its entirety. Thanks to digital technology, the Codex's 800 pages can be seen in high definition. It's so old that scientists have not been able to recover all the books of the Bible, and only the Old Testament remains intact. For 4 years, experts in England, Russia, Germany, and Egypt have worked to put the Bible online. Each one of these countries has a part of the manuscript. A German theologian discovered it in 1800 in the monastery of St. Catherine in Egypt's Sinai Desert. Later, a part of the text was taken to Leipzig, Germany, and another to Russia after Tsar Alexander II paid for the investigation. In 1930, Russia decided to sell part of the manuscript to England. As a result, the National Library of that country has the part with the most pages. For now, thanks to the internet, anyone can read the ancient text in its highest of qualities in any part of the world.
Fascinating. Well, if you're in England and you know Greek, you may want to head over to that website. A new survey finds that most people there actually have very little knowledge of the Bible. Less than 1 in 20 people could name all 10 commandments, and only 62% of those surveyed knew the parable of the prodigal son.
Well, one man who helped others find gospel lessons in the comic pages has died. Robert Short may have been best known as the author of The Gospel According to Peanuts. That book was the top nonfiction bestseller in the U.S. when it was released in 1965, and even earned the admiration of Peanuts creator Charles Schulz. Robert Short was 76 years old. President Obama has selected a Catholic as his nominee for Surgeon General. It's Dr. Regina Benjamin, who serves on the board of the Catholic Health Association. Now, 3 years ago, the Pope awarded Benjamin a papal cross, which is given for distinguished service to the Church. Well, stay tuned. There's much more current straight ahead. And later on, we'll head back to Williamsburg and meet a man whose wait is over. And
we try to figure out if Lino is more dangerous than his cooking.
You only do this twice a year?
Where I eat it. I'll serve it to others.
Well, Lino Rulli is always reeling in something interesting for his catch of the day. But before he started here on Currents, Lino hosted a show in Minnesota called Generation Cross. And this summer, we're periodically showing you some of these Lino Rulli classics.
Classics they are. And you may not know this, but Lino is not a bad cook. He's actually a terrible cook. But in tonight's classic, he's not doing the cooking, thank goodness. He's just lending a hand to Father John Forliti. Kids, just don't try this at home.
You know, we at Generation Crosser, we've learned one thing about this show is you enjoy it a lot more if you're heavily medicated or if you're drinking. And so we've got whiskey here. And what is this going to be for, Father John? It's not for you. It's going to be for the recipe, right?
That's right. We're going to use it in spaghetti alla whiskey.
Spaghetti alla whiskey.
But we won't use spaghetti tonight.
We will use whiskey?
We will use the whiskey.
That's really all that matters.
We'll actually use egg noodles.
Egg noodles?
Yep, those are good. Or you could use fettuccine, you could use almost any kind.
And then it'd be egg noodles alla whiskey? Fettuccine alla whiskey? What's going on here?
We're going to start with some butter.
All right.
Now this is not exactly low cholesterol, so I do this about twice a year.
You only do this twice a year?
Where I eat it. I'll serve it to others.
That's right. You don't care about other people's health, but for your own sake, we gotta watch these things out.
No, others love it.
So why do you always have to melt butter? What's that about?
Well, that's our little base of liquid.
What about olive oil?
We don't use that in this one.
What about Popeye? Pa-da-pa. See, we've done this show for this many years, and I've always held off on that joke for good reason.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. What am I?
Part 2. This is prosciutto, and it's cut up in little pieces.
You did that? Are you okay?
It's got
Is
to
your
go in
voice
here.
okay?
It's got to go in here.
What's going on?
Just fine.
The prosciutto's got to go in your voice?
Just fine.
You want to put this in?
Yep.
Is it going to jump up? Is there anything dangerously? No. Okay.
No, it'll be just fine.
How much prosciutto do we have here? Do you know?
We have 1/4 of a pound.
How's your voice? You choking up, Father
It's
John?
better.
I know it's very emotional
It's
to cook
being
with
with
me.
you.
Yeah, I know, it's
just
very
being with
emotional. So this is going to be our sauce, huh?
This is the sauce.
All right, good. And actually, this is the sauce. But this will all be part of the sauce. That's right.
This little prosciutto here will provide just an
We don't know what it'll provide. It'll provide itself, apparently.
Exquisite taste.
Really?
Exquisite taste, yep. The next thing is we're going to put in the whiskey.
In the whiskey. Now, why don't we have, these are actually giant shot glasses.
That's 1/4.
Is this for the rectory? Is this the shot glass you guys use when you're playing quarters?
Just for cooking.
Just for cooking. To pour it in?
1/4 cup.
Okay.
Okay, hear it bubble?
I certainly did. It's as excited as we are.
Do you have a match? Get a match.
All right.
Right there, handy.
I mean, it's not like I always have a match with me. But
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Now,
we were prepared.
this is gonna set everything on fire, correct?
I think I'm going to. Well, we're going to flambe it a little bit. Why don't you light that match and just go up to the edge?
No, but is it
See
gonna
if we get a flame.
Is it gonna go?
Well, let's see.
Well, what do you mean just see?
Give it a try. Give it
with
a
my
try.
makeup and gel and stuff, I have to be very careful with
Give
this
it a
sort of
try.
thing. All right.
Just
Now
keep
watch
the-
out. Just keep your head back.
Keep the lid handy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, look at
There you
that. That was pretty sweet, Father
you go.
John. You see that?
Now, when
No,
it
you
goes
didn't?
down a little bit, the fire, I'm going to use this metal spoon.
You're gonna
I've
beat
used
the
wood
fire
ones.
out.
I've used wood ones before,
That wouldn't
but
work
it'll
out,
burn
would
the wood. If the fire is too high, just lower the flame.
Makes sense.
The first time I made this, I almost burned the house down.
Except it didn't jump up that high,
So,
right?
No, well, it was only about this high.
Right. It's as short as Emmanuel Lewis. It wasn't the giant flame that we were worried about.
Now this
Now-
one will probably go out by itself.
Oh, really? Well, that's it. So now, the way I understand
So
cooking,
that's
all the alcohol is now burned away, right?
I don't know if all of it is, but a lot of it is.
You had to be 21 at the beginning of this recipe.
That's
Now
right.
it doesn't matter how old you are.
That's right. Next, we will put in a 1/2 cup of cream.
So this isn't milk.
That's heavy cream.
Heavy cream. Just to add the mushrooms?
Add the mushrooms.
How many? The whole thing?
Yep. So we're going to let this cook a little bit, and
All right, go ahead. You got your
Put
egg
it in.
noodles.
Okay.
Or fettuccine or spaghetti or whatever sort of pasta you want, right?
whatever you're doing.
All right, fine.
Make sure you give it a good stirring up first.
All right, so I'm going to drain the pasta. I know everybody's watching with eager eyes because there's nothing more exciting than watching somebody drain pasta. Although there's a small chance I'm going to burn myself. See, I think I just burned myself with a little hot water there. So I guess that's the real reason you all like to watch that, huh? All right. Do you need this thing?
We need the pan.
And
Put
you need
the pan
this
back on the
All right,
stove.
you need both of these, right? Because you're going to do that little
Well-
Italian trick where you throw. Should I pour the pasta in?
You can put them in.
Okay.
Ooh, this is hot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Wanna just help me with
got hot pads.
Would you help me, please?
So you're gonna do the little trick, right?
No, no trick.
Well, I'm not talking like a magic trick, like a rabbit's gonna come out of here,
Okay,
but
you
you're
can,
gonna.
You can dump it in.
Okay. You mean the entire pan or just the actual sauce? Sorry.
Wait a minute now.
What?
Get it
Okay.
all.
And I don't know.
It's all good stuff.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds like you're
just
ringing
love
the
that
dinner
salt.
bell. What are you from the country?
There
All right.
we go.
Is that all set? That's okay.
We just have to mix this up.
Now, Father John, it looked really good, and now it smells kind of odd. Can I tell you that? Do you think it smells good?
Oh, it smells great.
All right. It's not too hot?
Nope.
It was just too hot for me, apparently. It's not too hot for you. All right. Now, okay. This is
Okay,
there.
there you
That
go.
looks pretty good. Now, do we have any cheese for this?
Don't need cheese.
See, now I think we do need cheese.
Well, put some on.
Okay,
if you
well, I
like.
don't have any cheese. That's the problem.
It disappeared.
That's right. Do you have any? I've never heard of. You can't really have a meal without cheese.
Try it.
Well, okay.
Try it. You'll
All
like
right.
it.
Are you gonna eat it with me? Not gonna
Watch
eat it
this.
anything.
No,
Is
I'm
it
just
any
gonna
good?
watch. I'm just gonna
Okay.
watch.
Okay, here we go.
Take your time. Might be a little hot.
All right, I didn't know if you were gonna say.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You
I was ready. Okay, here we
Don't
go.
burn yourself.
Okay, just hang on a second.
Okay.
Mom. Okay. Well.
What?
Is that good?
What do you mean is that good?
That's good.
Don't you like it?
Eh.
Try it again.
No, I think that's enough. No, it's all right. It's all right. No, it's good. I mean, try it at home. Make up your own mind. What are you looking at me for your meals at home? No, Father John, do you like it?
I love it.
If you love it, what does it matter what I think of it?
Okay.
All right. Buon appetito.
That's just too much.
I thought he would at least like it. Apparently, he just puckered up. He hated it.
I know. It looks so good to me. I'm extremely hungry now.
Well,
of course, I'm always hungry.
Anytime you can add butter and cream and all that kind of stuff, I think if anything, he's probably missing a little bit of sugar or something. I think it might have needed a little bit more of that.
Right. Well, I think my favorite part was when the priest said, "Okay, just dump it in," and Lino goes throwing the whole pot in the. It doesn't work that way, Lino. I just want to tell you. I'm sure you found out the hard way. But of course, nothing says great cooking like a little Teflon in your food, I guess.
Yeah, no. Lino obviously needs to leave the cooking to other folks, but that's all right. I can cook, and I'm sure plenty of restaurants around here can, so I'm sure he's not going to starve.
That's like I said earlier, the best thing Lino makes is reservations.
Oh, so. You have said that. Well, and now we know why.
That's right. Well, on that note, when Currents returns, we'll go back to Williamsburg and meet a man who's part of a long tradition here in Brooklyn.
Finally tonight, there's one man in Williamsburg that everybody knows this week, and now you're about to meet him. We've already brought you the sights and sounds of the Feast of Giglio, which takes place every July in this Brooklyn neighborhood.
Well, and one position considered a place of prominence is the Capo of the feast. And Pat Grande has waited a long time to get there. Tonight, he is our eyewitness.
They say everybody wants to have the stick on Havamaya Street. That's the big show. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience for an Italian boy from the north side of Brooklyn to be part of the feast. The church itself has always been a big, big part of our life. This is our 122nd year of having the feast of San Paulinus, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. It's something that my grandfather brought over here from Nola. I had my father involved with it, my uncles, my cousins. I mean, it's a family tradition that's been held in our family for 122 years. The structure itself this year, I did it in Our Lady of Mount Carmel colors because that's that's like my patron saint. Like it was sort of my tribute to her. Where I reached today is the #1 capo. It took me about 40 years. I'm happy that I had this at this time in my life because sometimes men have it when they're in their 40s and early 50s, but I have it now with my grandchildren, you know, my daughters, my son-in-laws, and you know, it's beautiful because, like, for a grandfather, there's nothing better than his grandchildren, even though your children get mad. My first lift I made in honor of my mother and my father, and I lost a daughter at a young age. And I honored her, I made the honor for them. My first lift was in their honor. And then my second lift was in honor of my wife, of course, Joanne, who's still with me. And then my third one was for my daughters and my sister, who are still here. Today, I had the time of my life. I don't count them head by head, but I bet you there was at least 2,000 or 3,000 people in the streets of Havamaya streets of Brooklyn to watch this. And to be my day, that I was blessed with such a lovely day. On top of everything else, we have beautiful weather, which made it, you know, more superb, wonderful, you know. And we had a lot of fun because I have cousins that lift. Some are lieutenants, some are apprentices, some are honorees. Our Monsignor Calise, who we have now with us, we are having a wonderful time with him. I hope he's having a wonderful time with us, because we're really enjoying him. Monsignor Romano came and did the speaking today. He was a neighborhood boy. His mother still lives in a neighborhood right here on Graham Avenue. I think my children and my wife were a little more nervous than me. You know, they were so worried why I wasn't so nervous. I wasn't nervous. I was very excited, but I was just thrilled because I knew that it was like the right word, combination of 40 years of waiting, and here it was. I just couldn't believe it was here. If people would have said to me, you would have said to me this morning, what do you think? I can't believe it's here. I'm just very happy about this whole day.
Pat Grande there, of the capo of this year's Feast of the Giglio, tonight's eyewitness. And it's talk about something that's really steeped in tradition. I mean, and something that, being the capo of the festival, that Pat has waited an entire lifetime for.
Really has, and obviously has a lot of appreciation for it. Had a chance to be able to bring out his grandkids this year, which obviously he loved. And really, it just seems like it's a prideful tradition, very Italian tradition, obviously, although the feast itself is open to anyone. But the tradition, he said, has been in his family for 120 years. That's a long time.
Right, and you know, I mean, really, you say the streets are taken over, and we were talking about that last week, about the streets being taken over in Williamsburg. It's the truth. I mean, a lot of people come out for this thing, and this is a big deal in Williamsburg every year, and it's so great, I think, how much involvement there is from the community. And has been over the years.
That's what I was going to say, is really it's a family day. Obviously, I mean, every town, city, area has their own sources of pride. This is obviously Williamsburg, huge source of pride for the Italian community, for other people as well. And you can go back to your roots, you can go back to your faith, and you can go back to your family, and it's a nice opportunity for people to get together. No matter, you know, what you're doing, you're out there together. And as you said, it was a gorgeous day for it.
Right, and you know, during tough economic times like we're going through now, people tend to go back, I guess, to the roots and to you know, the foundation of their life, family, friends, faith, and that sort of thing.
It gives you a sense of place, I think. It gives you a sense of connection to what happened before, and also something that you want to maintain for the future, so that people can continue to have something else that, regardless of whatever is happening else in the world, that they know that that's always going to be there.
Right. Well, great tradition. We're looking forward to it already for next time.
I know. Well, that's all for this edition of Currents. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to actually talk a little bit about this particular topic. It's kind of a hot one right now. We teach forgiveness, but how easy is that when your spouse has cheated? It's a tough question. Also, should you let your children see the latest Harry Potter movie?
We'll be looking forward to it. Remember, you can always watch us online as well. netny.net/currents is our website. Watch clips of the show. Check out our blog. It's called Riding the Wave. We'd also like to hear from you. Send us an email. The address is dropusaline@currentsny.net. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Matt McLuhan.
And I'm Francesca Maxime. Have a great night.